What is going on? Guys, I'm gonna make a little video here. I thought about making this video a while back, and I don't like to make negative videos. I want things to be positive, but I decided to make this video. It's going to be somewhat negative. I'm not trolling anybody. This is the truth. It's a true story that I'm about to tell you, and I'm going to make it. This is a life lesson video. I learned a lesson from this, and if I could go back, I would have dealt with the situation differently. So I'm going to tell this story, and then I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to move this camera closer. I'm going to tell you why I wish I had dealt with the situation in a different way. So years back, I was like really into to this day, I'm into like Pical knives and just rare like martial arts knives. I had a custom Dirk Pinkerton Smilodin Pical knife that was made by Dirk Pinkerton himself. I contacted him, he made it for me, and it was just, I contacted him and said, I'm not rich, you guys know that. I said, can you make me a knife, just plain Jane Pical knife with a cord wrapped handle? You don't even have to wrap the handle, I'll wrap it myself. Just, I just want it made by him. And I expect to spend a few $100s, but it's not like $1,000 or like if you were to have a custom knife made. Just make it as simple as possible. I'll worry about the sheath and everything else. But anyway, he ended up making the sheath, and I had the Pical knife, and I ended up being unemployed. I ended up selling the Dirk Pinkerton custom knife on eBay for more than I paid, but he probably saw that, and then, it probably pissed him off, which I felt bad, but I was unemployed, I needed the money, and the knife was so cool, the Dirk Pinkerton Smilodin, that I didn't even want to carry it. Because it was so nice, and I did carry it. It was legal carry where I live, but I regretted selling that knife. I shouldn't have sold it, but I think I just thought it's worth money. I'm not going to cut anything with it, but that was the idea of it. It was a self-defense knife, and anyway, I sold that knife, and I felt bad. So I had contacted John Fitzen. He makes these big, huge knives, these biker-looking knives, and I like the way they look and everything. I'm just not into those knives that he makes. But I was like, man, what if, Dirk Pinkerton went and made me. Now, this was already a knife that Dirk Pinkerton made. But I said, I'm going to contact John Fitzen and see if he'll make me a Pical knife. And tell him the same thing. Look at just plain Jane. I'll wrap the handle, just mill the handle, and just make it, and I'll worry about everything else. And that's what I did. I contacted him, and sure enough, he said he was into it. And he had some kid or something working for him who had made just a basic drawing on a computer. And I said, no, that's not it, man. And they had the Pical knife. You got to get the blade up away from the butt of your hand, the handle, and the blade has to be like away, because otherwise when you clamp down, see this, it'll cut your hand, and you got to get the blade up and away. And it was a little small handle. I said, no, I want a big, huge handle, so when I hold it, the whole handle comes out with the pommel. And if you ever seen John Fitzen knives, he's always got these pommels on them, like a triangle, and they're sharp edges. And I didn't want sharp edges, but it's a cool looking thing. It's a lot of metal. It's heavy. That's just the way his knives are. And I wanted that handle, that big handle, with the just under 3-inch blade, like a 2.8-inch blade for legal carry, which is a big blade for a Pical knife. If you don't know what a Pical is, it's an inside blade, reverse grip, and it's like a claw. If you get in a fight with anybody, like an actual fight, to where you're going to get beat down, die, even a group of people, say you got jumped by 3 guys. You're on the ground. They're going to, you get the Pical knife, who's ever on you, hitting you, you're going to cut them. You're going to survive that situation. Any other knife, they would be able to grab your hand. But I truly believe a Pical knife, anybody grabs your arm, so you can always pull in. They're going to get cut. Someone gets cut, especially with a razor sharp blade, they're going to back off. Whoever is next in line, they're going to deal with the same issue. It really is probably the best. It is the best knife as far as, okay, you try and take a Pical knife out of somebody's hand, at least one that's made the right way. And you're going to have the most difficult time doing that with somebody with a Pical, because anything you grab, no matter what, they're going to be able to cut you. They're going to be able to pull in and rip you up. I mean, the chances of ever using something like that is slim, but it's just an awesome blade. But they're not common. It's something rare and different, and that's why I like it as well. So that's how we doing on time here. I'm doing all right. So anyway, so then they sent me back another drawing after, I probably could have done the drawing, but he's like, no, I'll quick make a little template. And I knew whatever, if they got the shape somewhat right, I knew John Fitzen, because he was going to make it himself, I knew John Fitzen was going to make it look cool, because that's one thing about John Fitzen. Any knife you give him, what type, he's going to make it look like a John Fitzen knife, and he's going to make it look aesthetically good, because he's really good at that, I mean, you see knives out there that are great knives, but they're just ugly. John Fitzen has a certain style. His knives look cool. And, that's a big, huge handle, man, with the short knife. The thing would have been heavy as hell, but it would have been bad ass as hell. And, so they go, okay, we're going to make it. And I say, okay, can you make me a knife? And I just give them a price, just a basic knife. And they said yes, they said yes, we'll make it for this amount of money. And, some time passed, I forget, like a decent amount of time. They're like, oh, I can go ahead and make a handle for it. And I'm like, okay, just how about a wooden handle? I don't want no Kydex or nothing on my Pical knife. Not Kydex, but G10. I don't want a G10 on my Pical knife. And I'm like, then you know what? I'm like, whatever the price was, like, for this other add-on stuff, because now some time had passed, and I knew that they were going to make it. I knew it was going to be cool. I'm like, I wouldn't have minded paying more for the handle. And then I was like, okay, well, you want to make a sheath too? And then I had an idea for the sheath. I want a leather sheath with a thumb break that wasn't a thumb, like a big thumb break that when you grab it, your 2 fingers down here would break the thumb break and it would pull out. I mean, this would have been totally custom, man. It would have been awesome. When you grab it, your 2 big fingers, maybe even 3 fingers, would have snapped that thumb break. It's like a reverse thumb break because it's a reverse grip. So it'd been right there to bust the thumb break with these 2 or even 3 fingers with like a metal, something big and solid. And I was like, hey, can you make this? And, because I seen John Fitzen with these videos, like, let your imagination run wild. That's what he said, right? Those are his words. And then he's down with making my knife. Okay? So I'm like pretty excited, At this point, you could, whatever the price was, I would have said yes. If you want to make this, the custom sheath with the thumb break, that's not a thumb break, it's with your fingers. You guys have seen my videos. I do some weird things. I carry a revolver backwards with a thumb break that's in twist draw, that old cavalry draw. You guys have seen I carry a revolver like that. And, I carry 2 revolvers like that. Usually just one, but, I do some weird things. And, this would have been so cool, and I was really excited about it. I mean, if he had said, oh, it's going to be this much more for the sheath, I would have said fine. But they never did. He never brought that up. He's like, I got an email back. He's like, oh, well, studies show that you don't want a retention device. Actually, I didn't get an email. I think I was actually talking on the phone with John Fitzen, and he didn't want to do the thumb break thing. Like, I had emailed him, and I didn't hear back, something like that. And then I had called. He's like, oh, no, studies have showed that if you ever get in a scuffle, you just want to grab it. That was his words, if you get in a scuffle. You just want to grab it. But here's the thing, I didn't want that. I didn't want a damn Kydex sheath, just grab it. If I want that, I'll just go buy a stupid K-bar knife or something, So I was just like, okay, no, I don't want that. I don't want a Kydex sheath with this knife. And which I thought was strange. Even to try to explain to him. And then plus the knife's got a really big handle, big heavy handle. Now I don't know if the Kydex came all the way up the handle, but it's a heavy handle with a small blade. I mean, it could work its way out of the Kydex. I don't like holsters that don't have retention. All my holsters have retention. And, I don't believe in having to grab something quick. Like, even a gun, like, I'm never going to, I don't need to just quick, get my gun, If something were to happen, you just you take your gun out nice and slow, And you start jerking, people are going to react to those, you're not a cop. Like, somebody's not trying to take you down, now you got to grab your gun. People don't even know you have a gun. So you have plenty of time to say, just when, boom, just take it out. And the same thing goes with the knife. You don't quick try and jerk a knife out, you just take one out. Like my Buck 112 I carry, just open it up. Don't have to be super fast. They don't see these herky-jerky movements, and that's just how I feel about that. And I carry knives and guns, and that's just the way that I look at it, that's just the way, that's how I roll, man. I'm not your average person, and I don't do average things. So, so all this goes on, and I don't even know if it's going to make the sheath at this point. Like, I don't even know. I guess, okay, I don't want the Kydex sheath. Just make the knife, and I forget where we even left with it, but some time went by, and quite a bit of time, man, like probably a few months, and I send them an email. And say, hey, you guys ever finish that Pical knife? They may have sent me an email, I can't remember. But somehow some time had passed, and we got in contact again, and the knife was done. They sent me pictures of it. I mean, dude, the knife is beautiful. How we doing that time? The knife is beautiful. Beautiful. And I only got a couple minutes left, so I call him up with my credit card in hand. I got my credit card in hand. Hey man, I saw the knife. Awesome, man. It's unreal. I got my credit card here. I could pay you right now. I'm talking to John Fitzen on the phone. Oh, well, my credit card machine's down. Okay, so what? You can't take a credit card number? Write it down? Like, that's what a normal person would do. I'm in sales. I worked in sales. If something's down, it doesn't mean I can't take a payment. If somebody wants to pay, I'm going to get their money. You know what I mean? I'm going to find a way to get it run, do whatever I got to do, and run it down. So I got my credit card. See, I think what happened was they had given me a price for a basic knife, and then he went and made this beautiful knife, and I think after he saw the knife and saw how cool it was, which is all my idea. Remember, the whole knife comes from my brain, dude. That's where this all came from. He never would have made this knife. And then he's like, I think he was probably thinking, I could sell this for way more than this. And he's like, well, go online, go on Skull Knives, and and click on this, and I went on there. There's nowhere to click to pay for my knife. Like, what? What am I supposed to click? What am I supposed to put in? It was just bullshit. It gave me to run around, wouldn't let me pay on the phone, then wasted my time. I went on this, and there was nowhere to pay on there, because it was nothing like pay for what? Like, what am I supposed to click on? How am I supposed to, type in an amount that I'm going to pay? Like, it didn't work like that on the website. It was just bullshit. And if I could go back, I would have called back and I would have sent a money order. And I would have said, okay, send me my knife. And I would have got that knife. Because I was like, oh, well, screw you. You know, you're going to give me a runaround, be a jerk, you know, and this and that. And, you know, I got my credit card and you're not taking my payment? I mean, this is bizarre, man. This is really weird. And it was really rubbing me the wrong way, and I got pissed off. And but the thing is, that what sucks now is, you know, somebody is out there right now with my knife that I thought of, and the John Fitzen Pikal knife. You know, and nobody's gonna appreciate it like I would have. That was the knife that I'm like, man, I like John Fitzen's knives, but you know, I don't like these goofy knives. I want a knife I can carry, and you know, and just something that I like. Like, I like Pikal knives, and you know, so I learned a lesson. You know, don't let, you know, people basically push you around, because that's what they did. They got pissed off for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure it just has to do with money. He's a guy, he probably figured he could sell this knife for twice as much as what I was going to pay, which I'm sure he could, you know. And, you know, and then, like, I had, like, a year later, I had seen on his website, he's like, all these knives, and ooh, we make Pikal knives, and he had, like, templates of the knife that I come up with. I was like, are you serious? That would have pissed me off even if I had gotten the knife. You know, it's like, you know, it's like, it was just like the whole thing, man. I mean, it was the exact same template. You know, not like a Pikal knife, but different. It was with the long handle and everything that I had come up with. And I never got the knife, and I really regret it, because I wouldn't have let the awkwardness and trying to pay for the knife and getting the runaround. And of course, after that, and the reason you know that it was just a runaround, just bullshit, was because they never contacted me after that. Hey, hey man, what's going on? We got the credit card machines back up, and you could pay now, or something like that, you know. No, they never came back, contacted me. They just give me a runaround. They don't have a credit card machine. Go on the website and pay. But there's no special thing to click. It was just bullshit, man. It was just bullshit. And like I said, the proof of that is they never got in contact with me again about the knife. And, you know, I don't know, man. But this is a true story. True story. And, you know, it is a philosophy video, because, like I said, I should have made them stick by what they said. We're gonna make a knife for this price, and I should have made them stick by their word, and I didn't. I kind of folded because I let my temper get the best of me, which I don't regret. It's like, you know, okay, you don't want me to pay, you don't want my money, but now I don't have my knife and somebody else does. So yeah, it's real disappointing, but it is a true story. And I'll catch you guys later.